Audio sync. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 whoops 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hey everyone, my name is Brandon, and the name of the game today is still Deathloop. If you remember from the end of my previous video, we had started in a tutorial area called Manor Cliffs, where we learned a little bit about kind of what the loop means. We met Juliana, and we learned that getting ourselves killed is something we can just come back from. The last thing we learned before we left that area is we learned the code to the door and an address for my apartment in Updom. I had just entered the Updom map before I had to stop recording, but as soon as I hit break the loop, that is where we are going to pick back up.
Dorsey Square, second floor. Dorsey Square, second floor, Dorsey Square.
I asked you to do something different, Colt, and you decided to go to fucking Updom?
How do you know where I am? You got cameras over
The
or
radio
something?
tower tracks your position, and you always act so surprised, like I wouldn't know exactly where you're going.
I don't even know where I'm going.
Dorsey Square is just down the road, cliffside. Let me guess, second floor.
Sounds like you're angling for an invite.
So you can show off your little beer tap again?
Different me. This cult done talking to you.
By the way, everyone recognizes your stupid jacket.
I like this jacket.
So the previous area we were in is a particularly tutorial-heavy area. We are still technically in a tutorial quest line for the next few maps, but we are actually now in maps where I have a little bit more freedom to where I go and what I do. So once I get started and get moving, this is going to go by a little bit quicker than... Whoops. Play your way. Enemies and obstacles on Blackgrave can be dealt with in a variety of ways. Basically, there's multiple paths, multiple ways to attack. You can move quietly, sit around and listen to people, try to get new information, and basically just learn how the game goes. But much like a lot of games by this developer, like the Dishonored games and the Prey games, there are multiple ways to make it through each level. But I know my approaches to each level, and now that I'm actually in them, I'm gonna move a little bit more quickly. Hi! The game's trying to teach me how to stealth kill people again, but it's fun to sometimes kick people off cliffs. But I can lean around corners, gunfire alerts people, and you can tell if people are aware of you. Oh, speaking of watching what characters do. Oh, actually, so this guy down here, he usually does something, but I think because he saw that other person fall off the cliff, he's not going to do what he would usually do, because he's been alerted now. So I'm just going to keep walking. Oh yeah, I can double jump now because I attached that trinket. Alexis Dorsey is one of the people we're going to have to kill later. Oh. When I said Alexis Dorsey, my Alexa in the living room heard me, so I have to close my door real quick. I don't imagine she's going to try to listen to me again, but having that closed is going to prevent that from happening. Is there someone in this room? There's not. Okay, that's a secret room that I might go to later, but right now there's nothing I need in there. Oh, that's my flat, which I'm trying to get into. When I first played this game, I always tried to go through that window, which means killing those enemies first. Oops. But I've since learned that there is a quicker approach to get into my apartment. I can go through this window. What's happening over here is kind of funny too. Basically, because they know the loop is activated and they know they'll wake up in the morning if they die, this crowd over here is trying to pressure this guy into jumping off this cliff. What they don't know is that this is what they're going to be doing every morning, because no one remembers that the loop is happening, even though they all thought they were going to. Let's see if he jumps to his death. Oops. Yep. He's dead.
This is supposed to be my place. Kind of uptight.
Yes, this is Colt's flat, where I can find several options of or items of interest, like a new trinket, this gun, and there's also a note in here that explains that your friend Frank is the person that procured this apartment for you.
Frank? Who the fuck is Frank?
You were loved once. As the game goes on, you learn that you had differing relationships with all of the enemies you have to face. Frank, particularly, was a very close friend of yours, and it's actually kind of sad that you have to go and kill him later. He's one of your targets.
Nope, I'm good.
Colt can use weapons in both hands. You gain firepower, but lose the option to aim down sights. I don't like doing this because I like to be able to aim.
Useful for redecorating. Or silent headshots with pneumatic prejudice. Yeah.
This is my stealth weapon that I just got, which I'm gonna use in a second on those enemies that we ignored earlier. But first, I need to check my mail.
Wow. Pretty.
Never give up, from Lila. We'll learn who Lila is eventually.
Never give up. I won't.
Temporary group channel. In this chat, this is a chat between Juliana and all of the other visionaries, which are what we call the enemies you'll face later. This is Juliana alerting all of the visionaries that you're going to come and try to kill them, so they all know you're coming.
Man, these guys are obnoxious.
And this is a message from before your betrayal, between yourself and Juliana, where you talk about basically everything that it took to get the loop functioning. And you hear about the fact that there is a loop control center that is where you're going to go next.
I compliment people all the time.
Now that I've
run from a control room. This is too easy.
Yeah, the loop is run from a control room, which is where I'm going to go to now. But now that I've read the two things I have to read, I have two spam emails. I'm not going to click on either of these because I learned the first time I played this that if you click one of these, it alerts all of the enemies in the area to your location. So if I click on one of those, they're all going to come down on me, and I really don't want that to happen. Oh yeah, Juliana told the other visionaries that you're going to break the loop. Charlie runs the Minicom network. You're finished in Updom for now. Your next stop is the Complex. I can continue to explore Updom or head for the exit. I'll have plenty of opportunities to come back here later. So that's what I'm going to do. But now that I have this gun, I can stealth headshot enemies. Ooh, why did someone see that? Usually people don't see me do that. Shit. That's really not good. Okay, let's just take out this guy over here. And I have to deal with some enemies I don't usually have to deal with. Okay. Fortunately, they're not very smart, so they still don't know where I am. That's sort of been people's kind of major criticism about this game, the fact that the AI is not very intelligent, so your enemies don't really constitute a serious threat in this game. But honestly, that might be why I like it so much. I am not a hardcore gamer.
Those tunnels run underneath this entire island. That's how I'm getting to the complex.
I prefer a somewhat lighter gaming experience, so the fact that the enemies in this game are kind of stupid and easy to kill, that just makes me like it more, if I'm honest.
Freestad, up, down, this whole place is connected through those tunnels.
So basically the way the game works is whenever you're done in one of these districts, you exit the area through your own tunnels, which takes you to the menu screens, and then you choose which area you're going to go to next. Once you are done with the tutorial, you have full freedom for where you go and at what time, but during these tutorial missions, the game kind of forces you to go through specific areas. But I picked up the 4-pounder gun and the PT spiker, and a trinket that reduces the damage I take, but also reduces the damage I deal. Black Reef's districts change over the day. You can review the opportunities you've learned. You can also learn more about any vulnerable visionaries who frequents the area. Any objective with an icon can be tracked in the map. Like, I need to go to the complex to visit the loop control center, and I can track or untrack this lead. But first I'm going to go into my loadout and equip. Do I want to equip Stonewall? No. I don't like the fact that it reduces my own damage. So instead of equipping that, I'm just going to mitigate my damage by not being attacked. Let's go explore the complex.
I don't really like that apartment. And from the looks of it, you didn't either. Why is that?
You gonna call me like this all the time, Julie?
Juliana.
I give approximately 0 fucks about what you call yourself.
But you did. Once. We used to be friends. Colt. Can't you
Oh,
read?
so that's why you told everyone to kill me?
But I'm the only one talking to you. So what does that tell you?
That I hang out with the wrong people. All right. Control center. Shut it down.
Oh, I forgot to... Sometimes I like to rearrange my arsenal so that this gun, the spiker, is the one I start the level holding, but I can make that change later. And it's also really easy to swap between your guns. But this is the one I want to use. Everything's below. So we will learn more about what that sound was later. But right now I have to deal with these enemies down here. Which they're always kind of a little bit hard to deal with, kind of. Because basically killing any one of them alerts the rest of them to you. But let's distract them, get everyone to look that way. Basically, by things like throwing bottles and shooting walls, you can get people to look in directions you want them to. That way you can stealth enemies while they're all blinded. So there is something that way that we're going to visit later. I might as well creep in here. So there is an ordnance depot back here, which is basically a weapons cache that the Eternalists just blew their way into, but there's no reason for me to go there yet. We will go there later to get the special gun that's hidden in there. This is obviously a security sensor that we can scramble using our hackamajig and then go through this door. Find the off switch. This is fun to watch.
Any ambition of advancing yourself in my department, you will give me what I want. And what I want is updates on the anomalous energy output. On the hour, every hour.
Of course, Dr. Evans. However, considering that one of the Eon program tenants is...
I'm gonna have a drink of Gatorade while this is happening.
I was hoping to perform some actual scientific testing on our first date.
Your visionaries.
Yes.
Also, one of the three tenants designed so even a protozoan paramecium such as yourself should be able to memorize them.
Looks like it's a real T-storm of energy down here. It's
Whoever's
239...
second in command over there, kill this idiot. Now.
Oh, come on!
What?
He'll be back tomorrow.
This is how you want to spend first date. There's nothing to achieve here. She does all the research. We're working in the glorified
I'm not
thermometer.
hearing any gunshots.
What's the third tenant?
Protect the loop.
This is fun. Woo. Looks good. BN value is 646.
Okay, gotta be a switch. Around here somewhere.
Hello? Answer me. I said answer me. Reply.
The situation is under control.
Colt. Is that you?
No?
Motherfucker.
Another friend of mine.
That is Wenji Evans. That is one of the visionaries that you'll have to kill later. But that's something that happens in this game. Basically, if you kind of sit back and observe things happen, sometimes enemies will just kill themselves or each other, just kind of fucking around with the loop. So it doesn't always pay to go in guns blazing.
This
Sometimes
looks like it does something important.
the quiet approach is better. In this game, both approaches are entirely valid. You can go in guns blazing or you can go in quietly. There are different benefits to either of them, and the game doesn't really seriously punish you for either. If you let yourself gather the attention of a lot of enemies, it can become a bit dicey, but most of the time it's not really that big a deal.
Okay, we are juiced. Show me what you can do.
This is where we learn a lot more about the loop and kind of what's going on. Oh, actually,
LPP.
The LPP is at the security office on Freestad Rock. Notify the head of security, and he will tell you how to use the LPP to protect the loop.
LPP sounds
powerful.
Could do some damage. Yeah, let's go get the LPP.
So that was Igor, another one of the visionaries that we'll face, teaching the Eternalists about the loop and the visionaries. He mentioned something called the LPP, which we think is a weapon that we're going to go and find. He told us to go to the security office on Freestad Rock to find it. But Eon, which is the name of kind of the whole operation that's going on the island, Eon is a way of life. It is the future for the party of an immortal lifetime. So this is kind of the recruitment flyer that was given out by Eon. They claimed that society was facing impending destruction, and if you wanted to, you could come to the island and live forever in a never-ending loop of delight and debauchery. We learned that it hasn't gone quite how the Eternalists and Eon expected it to go, but the game told me to watch for alarms. It's the one I already turned off out here. We learn a lot more as the game goes on. We learn that nothing went the way anyone wanted it to. But basically, yeah, they recruited everyone to this island to have a never-ending party, basically. Slide. Oops, I slid too far. I learned that the LPP is in the security office, so it's got to be worth keeping secure. We learn Igor Serling desperately wants credit for founding the Eon program. And we learn we need to search Freestad Rock for the LPP in the Eon program security office on Freestad Rock. Real quick, I'm going to go in and change my loadout to put my weapons in the order that I like to use them. Alright, so we learned that there is a loop control center that we visited, and at the loop control center we learned about the existence of the LPP, which now we're traveling to Freestad Rock to find. But for the time being, I'm going to leave this video here. We made it through 2 maps, learned a lot of useful information, and we're gonna come back and continue next time. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, let me know any feedback you have or anything else you want to see. Thanks for watching.